Yo, what's going on, social media world? It's your boy Sincere, J Red, Flatbush, Brooklyn. Y'all already know. Welcome to the page. Like and subscribe. If you're a rated subscriber, I appreciate you. Thank you. Because you could be doing anything with your time right now. And you tuned in, locked in, focus on me. And again, the message don't apply, let it fly. Because you could be doing anything with your time right now. So if it don't apply to you, share it, forward it. You never know what somebody's going through right now, that this message might just be able to touch them and make a difference, help them make that shift. So today I want to talk about your relationship and why your relationship is not working. And the reason why it's not working is because of you. You're the predominant factor on why a relationship is not working. And you're like, yo, Sin, J Red, why would you say that? I can't control what the other person is doing. Yes, this is correct. You cannot. But it's what you tolerate. It's what you've been tolerating. You're not probably coming into the relationship with intentions, which most people do not do that. Most people do not enter a relationship with the intentions of longevity. Some of us do, but for the most part, we just kind of flow and we'll see our likes and dislikes. And sometimes the likes or the pros, we could call it, might outweigh the little annoyances and nuisances that you see in this individual that you just letting slide because you're like, well, on this side, the pros is outweighing this side, which is the cons. But you have to really realize what's a deal breaker for you and what's going to be a deal breaker for you, because it's a possibility this person just being them. That might not change unless you communicate, have that uncomfortable conversation. And it shouldn't be uncomfortable in the beginning because it's fresh. You don't really got nothing to lose in the beginning. You just meet each other. So I say when you first meet somebody, if you're going in there with the intentions that you're looking for a long-term relationship, set your standards, set your boundaries, your likes and dislikes, what you would tolerate, what you would not tolerate, and then see if that person's in alignment and see what they have to say, if they have a rebuttal to what you're saying. Because if they do and they don't agree with you, obviously that's going to be an issue. Because if it's new and they can't see what you're talking about, because remember, social media world, you are the director for your life. You're the main star in your movie. You're the director, the co-star, and anybody else you choose to participate with, they're starring in your film. So you know how you want your movie to go. And as a director, you got to tell the actors and actresses what parts you would like them to play in that movie. So if you're not straightforward and tell them because you're scared to running them off because you see all these good qualities, what is the purpose of them having these good qualities here, but it's only going to last for a couple months, a year, 2 years? Unless that's what you're into, then that's fine. There's some people that ain't moving with purpose. They're not moving with intention. They don't want to have long-term relationships. They're just living for the present. They're in the moment, and where it goes, they'll figure it out when it gets there. Now, you're gambling when you move that way. When it comes to your partner, when it comes to you wanting to acquire a significant other for the long term, for longevity, you're really setting yourself a failure because you might think, okay, well, on this side, which is the pros, it's looking way better than the cons right now. But some of the cons, you can see it being, in the long run, being a nuisance and you'll have a problem with. It might not be a big problem right now, because again, like I just said, the pros are superseding that. So when you just meet each other, it's fresh. You're on the honeymoon stage. You are physically attracted to them. You're mentally attracted to them in the pros area. And you're thinking, I'll deal with this once we get a little deeper. Maybe I could kind of rub off on them and then things will change. That's not a good way to do that and proceed with a relationship because change is hard work. And the only way somebody's going to change if they see the need to change. So if you express yourself in the beginning of the relationship and you tell them your requirements and what you expect from them, and if they don't agree, keep it moving. But I don't think most of you guys do that. That's why I say the problems you have in your relationship is your fault. Because you tolerated certain things you've seen in the beginning. You let a lot of things slide where you should have nipped it in the butt off the jump. You should have nipped it in the butt. But you, for whatever reason, only you know why you did it. You let the pros outweigh the cons. And now you at where you at because this person's not doing nothing wrong. 9 times out of 10, what you have a problem with now, you've seen that from the jump. You just chose to ignore that. So that's why I say this is a you problem. You didn't set the boundaries. You didn't nip shit in the butt when you seen certain things because you was focused on the good. And just like anything new, it's all good in the beginning. You know what I'm saying? It's all good when it's good until it's not. You know what I'm saying? You could buy a brand new car today. You're going to love that car. But a year from now, 2 years from now, you're still going to love that car. But you're not going to have that same appreciation for it as the first day, first month, first 2 months that you acquired that car. And that's kind of how a relationship is. You know what I'm saying? You've seen certain things and you chose to ignore it. You chose not to put your foot down and nip certain things in the butt where you could have just got this out the way and they could have both known, like, listen, I got an issue with this. That person would be like, well, I don't see that as an issue. Now, once you say it again and say, listen, well, it is an issue. If you're going to move for the long haul, and if this is what you want, because this is what I want, then we have to come to some type of mutual agreement. If you do not do that, it's a high possibility that you're going to be in a predicament you don't want to be in because that person 9 times out of 10, is not going to change. And the reason why I said that, because they never felt the need. They didn't see it as an issue in the beginning. You seen it as an issue. You just didn't address the issue. Now, when you're comfortable and you got used to all their good qualities and now it's the norm, you got complacent. Now you're tackling the things that you've been seeing and now you want to address now because now it's like the good and the bad is here now. You know what I'm saying? Because you're so used to the good. You're complacent now. You're used to it. You know what I'm saying? Now you want to tackle what's been there, and that's not fair to the individual that's been moving that way. And now all of a sudden you have an issue with it, and now you want to address it and expect it to change. That's going to kind of be a problem because, again, like I said, they might not see that as an issue. Now, if you want somebody to change, even if they agreed to change after the fact, that person has to put effort into change. Because you remember, you guys come from all different walks of life, different life experiences, different ways that you grew up, different views and perspectives on relationships, life, on a lot of different topics. So now, even if they say, let's say, give the benefit of the doubt, right? Let's say now they do want to change. They have to actively put effort into change because change is not going to happen just automatically. Either somebody's going to put effort in or sometimes pressure bust pipes. When you really want something to change, it's sad to say, but you kind of got to give that ultimatum and put that pressure on because this person's going to say, A, okay, I understand where you're coming from. I don't want to lose you. Or B, no, I don't agree with you. And if you can't take me for who I am, then we just got to keep it moving. So this is why I say where you are in your current relationship, It's your fault if it's not going the way it's supposed to go. But you can always, that doesn't mean you have to stay in the relationship. You're not a tree. You're not planted and rooted there. You know what I'm saying? So even if you didn't know this information before, and now that you acquired some information, and now you realize, like, damn, I didn't do it from the jump, but I need this because people do change. What was cool before might not be cool now. So we always have to get comfortable having uncomfortable conversations. And when you choose your partner, you got to make sure they have a growth mindset and they're open minded and they're empathetic. You know what I'm saying? Don't choose somebody who's defensive. Don't choose somebody who has a high ego and pride. Because in everybody's head, they're the most important person on this earth. They're thinking what they're doing is solid, is gold, and they might be looking at you like you the issue, just like you looking at them like they're the issue. You get what I'm saying? So it's good if you're now beginning to enter a relationship, if you're on a dating scene and you meet this person, be 100% you. Don't front to be something that you think this person wants out of your fear and insecurities of losing that person. I'm telling you now, from experience, it's going to come back to haunt you. You should be more, and this is why I'm always going to promote working on yourself, self-awareness, self-help. Because if you were doing that, you wouldn't be having this conversation. You wouldn't care if you set the boundaries, you stood on your 10 and told them your do's and don'ts, your likes and dislikes. And if they chose to not adapt or like or adjust, then you would just say, listen, you're a good person. I'm not saying you're a bad person because that doesn't mean they're a bad person. They might not just be good for you. So just because somebody's not on your type, just because somebody's not on your time and they're not in alignment with you, does not make them a bad person at all, social media world. That just means they're not for you. And this is why it's very important because I know you're going to go off the looks. They're going to go off the mental state they have in the beginning because, of course, everybody's putting their best foot forward when they enter a relationship. It's just natural. I'm not going to say everybody's faking it to make it, but it's kind of like a job interview. You're not really fully getting that person when you first meet them. When you want a job interview, you're trying to sell yourself because you want that job. It's kind of like if you're attracted to somebody, you're the hunter and you're going after the prey. You want to sell yourself so this person thinks you're the best thing on earth. You know what I'm saying? And I don't think that's a good way to move when you first meet somebody because you're not going to be able to uphold that. You're going to get complacent. You're going to get comfortable and the real you is going to come out. And now you're in a predicament that you put yourself in because of your fears, because of your insecurities. You didn't want to keep it 100. You didn't want to keep it a buck. You didn't want to tell them what you liked, what you acquire, what you see where this relationship is going. You didn't do that because you didn't want to scare this individual off because you thought that if you told them the truth, that might scare them away and run them off. And if you expressing yourself and you being real with you and keeping it 100 with you, if that scares somebody off, you got to look at it like they did you a favor and they're just not for you. That's all. You got to have faith. Don't let fear and insecurities put you in a situation where you're on borrowed time. Now you're with this person for 5, 6, 7, 8 years, and y'all gonna end anyway. Now you probably got kids, y'all probably married, y'all probably acquired a whole bunch of things in each other's names. Now it's kind of like a business, and it makes it even harder to push that button to now want to leave. Because now, even if you do tell them, hey, listen, I don't like when you do this. I don't like when you do that. And they don't agree with you and they're not trying to change. Most likely you're going to settle because you have a lot more to lose and you kind of know this person to a degree and you're like, damn. You know what I'm saying? And that's going to lead to bitterness, resentfulness, and you're going to become like neighbors. You know what I'm saying? Like roommates. You know what I'm saying? I'm sure you guys know a lot of people, if not yourself, that's in these type of predicaments. So always keep it 100. Always nip things in the butt off the rip. And even if you're there now, it's not too late to nip it in the bud. You know what I'm saying? You got to tell this person, like, listen, I love you to death. If you're in a relationship already, I love you to death. I love these things, but if you want us to stay in the long haul, if you want me to stay in love with you or just to have love for you, I need you to adjust these things and kind of be empathetic to why I feel the way I feel. And if they love you, they will try to adjust and try to change, and then give them some grace, because change doesn't happen overnight. This person has been doing what they've been doing for as long as they've been doing it. You know what I'm saying? This is why I always promote working on yourself, because then you'll see certain things. So when you're working on yourself and you're putting the working on you, when somebody tells you something about you, whether it's a positive critique or something you feel like it's just bare foolishness, you'll know, and you'll know what you have to do, whether what they're saying is making sense or I could just tweak a little bit, because a relationship is about two people. It's not always about you. If you're in love with somebody or you want to be with this person, if they're not asking for much, just give it a try. If you want to be with them in the long haul. If you don't, then you already know the answer to the test. Like, this is who I am. If you feel like what they're saying doesn't make any sense, and it's a big deal, like as far as a deal breaker, then it's best you just keep it moving. But I hope all this makes sense. Like I said from the jump, if your relationship is not working and it's not going the way that you would like it to go, 9 times out of 10, it's 100% your fault, because of what you tolerated, what you didn't nip in the butt, you avoided uncomfortable conversations and things of that nature. It's never too late. Sincere, J Red, Flatbush, Brooklyn. Y'all already know. Yo.